Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
I know I made a mistake, and I own up to that, but the state of North Dakota is very hard on sex offenders.
Years after pleading guilty to having sex with a minor, a local man wants to share the struggles of being labeled as a sex offender in the community. Thanks for joining us tonight. Mike has the evening off. We often report on when sex offenders move into a new neighborhood. They're required to register with police where they're living, a move authorities say is to keep the community safe. But we don't often hear from sex offenders themselves. Today, Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson spoke with a 26-year-old level 3 sex offender and has a story you'll only see on Valley News Live.
It makes you think you're the worst of the worst.
What landed a Fargo man on the sex offender list, he says, began as a high school relationship.
We started to become friends, and then it got stronger.
Robert Fay says his family turned him in when he was 18 for having sex with a 14-year-old.
Back in the day, 4 years apart was nothing. There was all kinds of people dating back then. And now, 4 years apart is like, oh, look, he's a pedophile. He's a creepo.
Fay did time for corruption of a minor and is now labeled as a level 3 sex offender.
Not every single sex offender here in Fargo is a bad person. It's just, they've had their struggles, and give them, before you judge them, talk to them. I've already been to jail a few times because I've had a failure to register for being homeless because I can't find anywhere.
Now 26, Fay says the label has created a vicious cycle.
See a level 3 and they think automatically that they're all dangerous.
He's only found 3 apartments in the city that will allow him to live there. A problem he says many on the list face. Some end up homeless.
If they had like a housing for us, or just something more accepting and more understanding.
While Fay admits he should pay for his mistake, he's hoping the community won't look at all offenders as the same or assume they're dangerous. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
After Moorhead police notified the public about Fay's change of address, several of his friends reached out to us on Facebook saying he faces a lot of ridicule, asking us to get the full story out there. Now, if there's something you need investigated and revealed, call our whistleblower hotline right away. Leave your tip at 701-237-6576, and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Several people, including children, escaped injuries after a rollover crash around 3 this afternoon. It happened on I-94 near the 45th Street South overpass in Fargo. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says a nanny was driving 4 children that she takes care of in a Chevy Tahoe. They say a car merged onto I-94 and cut in front of the Tahoe. The nanny then steered to the left to avoid the collision, but flipped the car. Witnesses tell us several people had to help pull the children out through the windows of the smoking SUV. The children were properly restrained. The interstate was reduced to 1 lane, causing slow traffic as crews cleared the scene. Highway Patrol say that nobody was injured. To some national news now. The suspect of a shooting at a Carmike movie theater in Antioch, Tennessee is dead after he opened fire earlier today. The man had a gun, a hatchet, and pepper spray and was killed inside the theater after police responded to reports of an active shooter and traded gunshots with the suspect. One moviegoer was wounded by the hatchet before the SWAT team killed the suspect. 3 other people suffered irritation from pepper spray. Well, to our weather in the valley, it was rather cloudy out there today. Still is, but not cloudy enough to keep us away from our backyard barbecue. That's where we find meteorologist Lisa Green. Lisa?
Thank you, Stephanie. I feel pretty lucky tonight. We've got great weather for a barbecue, and in addition to that, we've got some great company. This week's winner is Carol Wagner from Moorhead. Carol, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And you were telling me you were super excited about this.
Yes, I was.
So much so, you've had people coming in from out of state.
Yes, Arizona, Barnesville,
Virginia. Exactly, and you can see behind us, there's quite a crew that's here, and I picked up on this a little slowly, but there's a theme to tonight.
What's the theme? Red, white, and blue.
You got it. I did not get that memo, but love to see that. How did you win this barbecue?
I put my name in the drawings many times, many weeks.
Where?
In Cashwise, in Moorhead.
Cashwise Moorhead, sign up for a chance to win. We still have several of these left, and we had a great time.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it too.
You bet, Carol. Okay, tonight, great night out to be enjoying some nice weather. Feeling a couple of sprinkles out there this evening, but otherwise we're doing pretty good. Temperatures in the 70s to some low 80s, and as we look at the radar, things are very quiet. Just a couple of sprinkles here and there. Maybe a storm up to our northwestern viewing area, but otherwise looking good for this evening. Our planner for tonight, expect to see those temperatures dipping down into the 70s with that chance for this is a flash flood watch that you just saw there. That's for tomorrow. Looking at our hourly forecast, though, back into the 70s, it should be a very warm night, feeling muggy, too. You know that some changes are on the way. We'll have details on some heavy rain and storms coming tomorrow in just a few minutes.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much. West Fargo police are still trying to identify the two people who broke into a liquor store overnight. Happened at the Liquor Mart on Cheyenne Street just before 2 a.m. Police say surveillance video shows 2 cinder blocks being thrown through the window and 2 people going inside. They're hoping to use the video to identify the people involved. At this time, the video has not been released, and the suspects got away with about 10 bottles of alcohol. The store is looking at its inventory to calculate exactly what was taken. Fargo police posted on their Facebook page, Amber Paulson's been safely located. Paulson was reported missing by her family on the North Dakota Lost and Missing Facebook page. Paulson's described by her family as a vulnerable adult and had not been seen or heard from since July 23rd. People wanting to show off their bikes are welcome in Sturgis this week. The motorcycle rally is bringing in a lot of people with a lot of fancy bikes. There's a lot of money parked on the main drag in Sturgis. Some spend as much on their bikes as they do on their house, and it seems the more expensive they are, the more attention they get. Rally goers walk the strip checking out the bikes and many times snapping pics of them. Biker Scooter Thompson admits he spent more than he should on his bike. It cost more than $40,000, but he says his heart was in the right place.
It was spent for her. Actually, I had a chopper last year and she didn't like riding on it, so I got a bike that she could ride on and have fun.
Now, if you want to take any pictures out there of the fancy bikes, send them to pics@valleynewslive.com or post them on our Valley News Live Facebook page. And as the 75th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is well underway, some are going this weekend. Motorcycle experts say before you hit the road, there's safety precautions. Check the tire tread and pressure. Be sure bags are properly secured. Also, be sure the bike's not overloaded. It can cause wobbly front ends. Because of the busy roads, if you're driving a car, be sure to check blind spots twice before turning, changing lanes, or backing up. Relationships might fade, but something tangible and real like a car was something they could hold on to. That's how one Vietnam veteran and former North Dakota representative described his experience with a black Chevrolet Corvair. Our cameras were rolling as a reunion decades in the making unfolded today south of Detroit Lakes. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric takes us back to 1967.
The civil rights movement, protests around the nation, the draft, and the Vietnam War. This was our country when Don Homuth first laid eyes on his dream car.
47 years, my Lord. And we were just driving around the night before I was going to go to Vietnam the second time.
Homuth was just spending a few more minutes with friends when he stopped at a dealership on Main Avenue in Fargo. They had just gotten a black Corvair convertible in that day, and it was in the shop, getting cleaned up.
He said, "You're going to buy a car the night before you go back to Vietnam the second time?" "Yeah." "Well, what if you don't come back?" "I won't know."
Homuth went to Vietnam that second time, served his country, and the Black Beauty was waiting for him when he got back. He then sold this car and moved to Oregon. But in the back of his mind, he always wondered what happened to it. The other man here, Vern Sunbaum, found the old beat-up Corvair in a farmer's field some 30-odd years ago, and he bought it. Every time he walked by it, he just felt he had to tinker.
When I first looked at it, I thought, oh boy, there ain't no chance.
About a year ago, Homuth put the call out online, asking if anyone knew about the car. He wasn't expecting much. Call it a miracle, call it fate. Vern Sunbaum stumbled across Homuth's post. The exact same car that Don Homuth owned back in the late 1960s was sitting in Vern Sunbaum's garage.
It's just hard to believe. It's just really, really hard to believe.
Homuth says this car was something he thought about every day while in Vietnam. This sleek, shiny curves were his therapy when he finally came home.
And it was like all of that, I shouldn't say all of it, but a lot of that stress and whatever that was, melted. And it's kind of like I'm close to living a normal life again.
Homuth already has his Corvair booked for a car show in the coming weeks.
Absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, you gotta be feeling like a kid in a candy store.
I'm 24 years old. I won't be 24 years old for long, but I'm 24 years old at the moment. And it's like, wow.
A reunion, nearly half a century in the making. In Detroit Lakes, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Incredible. Don Homuth says he already has plans to ship the Corvair back to his home in Oregon. What a great reunion. Later on Valley News Live at 6, some good news for you hunting fans out there. Fall 2015 hunting season has been set. Find out the dates coming up next.
Everybody's enjoying the weather here at the Cashwrights Backyard Barbecue in Moorhead, but the weather's about to change. We'll have your forecast coming up in just a few moments.